Are you sure you're going to be all right, Jeff? I really don't like to leave you alone on Christmas Eve. Oh, don't be silly. Christmas is for families. We're talking today's special. Hit it. It was 1981. The first DeLorean DMC-12 futuristic sports car was produced. Simon and Garfunkel reunited for a concert in Central Park, and Jodie and Jeff were the template for the hit movie Mannequin, but with puppets thrown in just for good measure. I'm your host, Jerry D, with another episode of Totally Rad Christmas, the podcast that talks all things Christmas in the 80s. Toys, movies, specials, music, and fads. If it was gnarly during Christmas in the 80s, we got it covered. Now, joining me are two Totally Rad Christmas all-stars. You'll know them, my first guest, as the host of the Magic of the Season podcast. It's Ashley Dunbar. Ashley, how's it going?
Hey, Jerry. I was just telling you that I missed you. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
It's been a long time. Yeah. That's surgery will do that. It just knocks you out. But yeah, I'm glad to have you back. And my next guest is the cool Canadian himself, host of Christmas Sessions. It's CJ Belanger. CJ, what's happening?
You get closer and closer to pronouncing it correctly.
I'm trying. I feel it there. It's just not quite, but I'll get it.
He's the only one who does actually get any of it, though.
I'll get it close. I'll get it as close as I can. One day,
sometimes you just try too hard. That's the problem.
Well,
it's just got to be Belanger. Yeah, it's got to roll off the tongue, hit the top of the roof of the mouth, and just kind of spit out. You know what I mean? So it's
okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. It's been a while since I've seen you, so I've missed you too. And I'm glad you're feeling well from surgery, you big baby.
Well, there's recovering from surgery, and then there's recovering from surgery.
Yeah.
And I might have played it up a little bit. But
did you also get the man cold while you were at it too, just to add interest?
No, I didn't. No. The crazy thing is I really did have strict, no lifting, no running, no jumping, no pushing, no pulling. I mean, it was I couldn't do anything except walk. And I felt so helpless because we were getting all these containers in with our product, and I couldn't go do anything. So I felt bad. But on the other hand,
I'm sure you did. I would feel terrible if I didn't have to do any work either. You're like a blister, Jerry. You show up when the work's done.
Oh man, I'm sorry guys, what can I do? But
oh man, are you guys done already?
Shucks. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man, I missed you guys. Yeah.
Of course you did. I was about to swear. God dang. We're Canadian, man. You love Canadians. You miss Canadians. You want to be around Canadians. Come on.
Well,
even though you're a Texan and you're almost as bad as Florida, we still love you.
But we have better barbecue, so we're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Of course.
But speaking of Canadians, before we get into today's topic, I actually want to get to know y'all a little bit better. So we're going to do my brand new segment called Hit Me with the Toaster. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to hit me with the first answer that you can think of. Don't think too hard about it. Just first thing that pops in your mind.
Okay.
And because you guys have done this a few times, I decided to change up the questions a little bit. All right. Question 1. If you could replace a character from today's special with an 80s action hero, who would it be?
You know what? Okay, Ashley can go first because I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to say Jack, and I'll switch him with the Labyrinth.
Okay. So so you're talking about Jeff?
Yes.
Okay. And you're going to switch him out with the Goblin King from the Labyrinth?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
I would change, I can't remember his name. The old drunk guy.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam. I would trade Sam with probably I'm trying to pick between two. Yeah, it's gonna be Sylvester Stallone because I think it would just be hilarious.
And it almost also kind of feels a little bit like a 1-to-1 swap, you know?
Yeah, he'd come in the same way because he's always punch drunk and he's always like, yeah, I came from the keys.
Hey, Jeff.
Yo, Adrian,
Christmas
you know to
Eve.
get out of this store. It's Christmas Eve. I want to go home to Polly.
Oh, man. I got to say, I'm into that. I want to see that paint. All right. Who was the better mannequin come to life? Was it Jeff from Today's Special or was it Emmy from the movie Mannequin? That's Kim Cattrall's character.
I'm going to pretend I know what you're talking about. I'm just going to say the dude from Today's Special is better.
Okay. Mannequin, yeah. Okay. All right. I can cut that out, so no worries. All right. Okay. Here we go. Which Ghost of Christmas would Alf, Gizmo, and Howard the Duck play?
Ghost of Christmas Present, I would say. No? Or you want me to do them all? Ghost of Christmas Present. You go first, Ashley.
Okay, so Alf is going to be the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah.
Gizmo is going to be a Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come.
Okay.
And what was the last one?
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck is Christmas Past.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll go Gizmo, Christmas Future, Howard the Duck, Christmas Past, and what's the other guy's name?
Alf.
The person's name? Yeah, maybe, what is it? The Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come? Is that how it works?
Present, I think, would be your last one.
Oh, yep. Sure. We'll do that one. This is a great segment, Jerry.
And last one.
I like that one.
All right. So you're going to the Griswolds for Christmas. What gift wrap food are you bringing? Aunt Bethany gift wrapped her Jell-O. So what would you guys bring with them?
I already know what I'm bringing.
Okay, well, you bring it then.
I'm bringing. No, you go first, Ashley.
You already know. I have to think.
I thought I knew, and now I don't. So,
okay. Is it like something that can it be anything?
Whatever you want it to be.
Oh, I would definitely gift wrap. I don't know.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Right.
There's only one thing that I can think of that they desperately need. I would bring a gift wrapped surge protector.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I guess in light of it, I would probably bring a gift wrap second turkey. That way they're really horribly done. Turkey can be saved, and then Christmas isn't terribly ruined.
Smart.
I thought you were going to say a second gift wrap cat. Because
should have had one of those too. Yeah. It's always good to have a backup.
Gift wrap the cat.
Man. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Just getting them in like their carriers is no thanks.
I know. Yeah,
that's a hard pass for me. Yeah, but so that's just a little way for our listeners to get to know y'all a little bit better. But today we're talking about today's special.
Hi, Jodie.
Oh, hi, Sam.
Well, the store's all locked up tight once again.
Great. Are you all ready for the record?
Am I? I've been practicing for weeks.
So, created by Clive Vanderberg in 1981, premiered on TV Ontario, so it is a Canadian show, and it was based on The Simpsons store. I guess it was a chain of stores that we don't have down here, so I don't really know much about it, but
I've never even heard of it.
They're not around anymore.
They're not around anymore. Yeah.
I think they're an 80s thing.
Yeah, they had to be. Yeah. Apparently they even shot some of those segments at one of their locations, but yeah, I guess the gist of it is that it's a mannequin that has a magic hat like Frosty the Snowman, and when he puts it on, he can come to life, but the magic only works in the store. That seems to be it. There's puppets involved, and there is the display designer, which is kind of like, I guess, Hollywood from Mannequin. I don't know if y'all saw the movie Mannequin from 1987.
I did not.
Yeah, anyway, so that's kind of his role, and her name is Jodie. She, I want to say, is like a love interest, but she's really not. She's just like a friendly display designer, I guess. And then we get some weird puppets. There's Sam, who's the old man. He's kind of like the night watchman, and we get a mouse named Muffy. And those are like the main stars. But before we like really dive into it all, and especially this episode, because it's really charming. It had something about it that just I loved a lot, even though it's weird and quirky and not great. But I really did like it. But before we get into that, like, what would you guys say is your history or experience with today's special?
Sorry, my history with it is simple. It was my comfort show. Whenever my parents were fighting and arguing, I don't know why. It must have been at the same time. It was on, and my parents decided to argue at that time. I would literally go into another room, watch it, and I just remember it being comforting to me. It was like taking me away from where I was at the time.
Right.
I don't know why I connect this show with that, but I do. So yeah, it basically was my comfort show growing up as a kid, as far as I can remember. And anytime I see it on, I'll try to watch it just because like it was that for me. I don't know why I connected with my parents arguing, but I always did. So they must have had a really bad fight one time when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's more of a comfort show for me. It was like, I don't know. I thought it was so cool. Like, I'm like, oh man, what if mannequins really could come to life? It'd be amazing. So yeah, growing up, like I would always walk through a mall and I would try to catch the mannequin moving.
Nice.
I would like turn my head and be like, okay, I didn't see it, but yeah, that's my history. I always wished it could happen, and then I finally realized, yeah, no, they don't come to life.
Not as far as I've found yet. I mean, it could be like when the lights are all off and everybody's gone. Maybe they do, but as far as I can tell, they actually don't. And I'm right there with you actually, because I wanted to see some mannequins come to life so bad, because they used to have a store. It was like a punk rock kind of vibe back in the 80s in the mall, our local mall. I don't remember the name of the store. I just remember that they had mannequins and they would dress them up. Like one had like a fake, mohawk and the leather jackets. And I always thought it'd be so cool just to see these guys come to life, but they never did either. So I don't know. I guess it's like trying to catch an elf. You just can't do it, I guess.
I feel like I had opposite feelings about mannequins. Like I always felt they were so creepy, and
terrified
I
of
would never wanted them to come to life. So you guys are both like just messed if you guys wanted them to come to life.
Well, honestly, no. Like as a guy, I think mannequins more found us creepy because I've never met a kid that didn't try to grab a mannequin boob.
Okay,
Jerry, you've done it. You've done it, Jerry.
I was too short.
Oh, so was Ashley apparently. So.
Yeah,
she's still too
short. Never had that.
Yeah.
I was tall, and I would find a way to grab that mannequin boob anyway I could.
Well, they especially like it's always so jarring because like you'd be walking and randomly you'd see one that had like no clothes on at all, and you're like, yes. What's going on? What's that? What's going on there? It was just different. But
yeah.
What about you, Ashley? What do you remember?
Well, to be honest, it stopped airing before I was even born. So,
thank you.
But they used to show like episodes of, I don't know what they were. They were like commercials or something, but in elementary school, I remember seeing it. I don't know if it was for a specific episode, but I do remember seeing it in elementary school and probably some reruns, but yeah, it stopped airing before I was even born. So I didn't have the pleasure of actually watching it.
Okay, right on.
It was my first time watching it. Really? I mean, other than when I was like young, and I don't really remember the premise of
this. Is pure Canadiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd be told.
Well, so I actually remember this showing on Nickelodeon, and we didn't get Nickelodeon till like the mid 80s. So I didn't, in the years that I would have loved to watch this, by that time, when we got it, I just missed it, and I would have, I was watching like Mask and Voltron and Thundercats and shows like that. So I missed this. Except my youngest brother, did watch it a little bit, so I would catch bits and pieces of it. Now I will say I've seen this Christmas episodes technically before, because when I was starting my show, I had like a huge list, and I was just diving into everything I could. And so I do have a little bit of nostalgia for it, but it's only like 3 years old. So it's not like, something that really tugs at my heartstrings or gives me the warm fuzzies. But I actually kind of like this show. It's odd, and there's something quirky about it.
No, I would I agree, and I would advise you just to kind of watch other episodes, not this one because it is heartwarming for sure. But I didn't like this too much. It was very weird. It was very
It was weird. Yeah.
it was very like someone doused like someone slipped acid into the buffet at the family party. That's
Well,
how I
and
felt.
the show itself apparently tackled some heavy issues also. So like when it
Yeah.
first started, I guess it was more like, about tangible things. What is this? What is that? But then like later on, I think they even involved like alcoholism was like one of the the problems they tackled. It
Not
was-
shocking. Look at Sam. That guy's a 100% alky.
No, yes. definitely.
That guy has been drunk
He's got
since
the nose. He's got the
1963.
nose.
his nose is red. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, he had high blood pressure for sure. His nose looked like Rudolph, but a way longer version.
But he's got a cool design. Like I really enjoy his look. Like whoever designed it is kind of. I mean, I have to tip my hat to them because it definitely appeals to like the kid in me. It's
He reminds me of the grandfather from The Princess Bride.
That's
Yeah,
weird. I
yeah.
was literally gonna say that he reminds me of the grandfather a little bit from Willy Wonka. Because like just
yeah.
like
Grandpa
the
Joe.
bags under the eyes, like
Yeah.
just looking rough,
Grandpa Joe, what a lazy prick. Lays in bed for 20 years. and
20
he finally gets
years.
honest to God. And then you just, I can dance now. And we're going to go to the factory. You absolute scumbag. Support your family, you piece of trash.
I love how he just gets over being
magically.
Yeah,
He just gets over being totally just non-movable. Like, come on, man. Honestly, make me sick. I'm glad he died.
like, like when I broke my wrist and I had to get back into it, like my muscles had atrophied a lot.
Oh,
And
man.
I did physical therapy to get back into it, and I still can't do a lot with my wrist now that I used to be able to do. How this guy, after 20 years of lying in bed, just gets up and can do a full-on dance is beyond me.
And doesn't collapse.
I agree.
It's I don't know what Wonka's putting in his-
Atrophy is real,
his
man.
candy,
Honest
but-
to God. When I broke my leg, one leg looked massive. The other one looked like a twig. It was embarrassing.
Yep.
And this guy just gets out of bed. Is he superhuman? Like, has he secretly just been working out at night when everybody sleeps or when they're at work and he's doing, I was about to swear. I'm trying to get through my first Jerry episode without swearing, but I've taken us off course again for 5 minutes. We'll go back, but yeah,
No,
he does
it's
look
okay.
like,
He does look
Yeah.
like Grandpa Joe, and he does look like the grandpa from Princess Bride. You're right. He's got that
Hey.
just the stereotypical mustache, just everything about him. Yeah.
on a little another side note. Do you know my wife has never watched The Princess Bride and she refuses to watch it and she's psychotic
What?
for that? Yes. I try to tell her all the time, watch this freaking movie. And she's like,
Oh
no,
man.
I don't want to watch it. I'm like, you're missing out. And she loves that corny stuff. Like, it's insane.
It's
She
so good.
loves
It's-
shows like that.
It's got
or movies
sword
like that.
fighting, so it's an action movie. It's got romance, so
It's got Andre the freaking
it's
giant,
got,
bro. Like, are you
exactly. It's
kidding
got
me?
comedy. I mean, it's like everything rolled into one movie. If you don't know what to watch at any moment, you can always pick it, and it hits whatever. vibe
Jerry,
you're
I
feeling.
think you can think of the word I'm thinking of when she says she doesn't want to watch it. Can you guess what it is?
Inconceivable.
Yes! Never battle a Sicilian when death is on the line.
That's so
Anyway.
good.
Anyway,
Oh man, so good.
let's head back to where we were.
Anyway, so we're talking today's special.
Are we?
Well, we're about to.
Dude, it's not a podcast with me and Jerry unless I take him to like 7 different universes.
And I've said that since day one. It's not a podcast unless you go off topic a little bit. Like
Yes.
that's how it works, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about today's special. So this was a 2-parter, Christmas part 1 and Christmas part 2. I actually think part 1 is a stronger episode. Like I got more Christmas feels from part 1 than I did from part 2. And I think it's because part 1 is all about Christmas Eve, and we'll get into the specifics, but basically everybody's leaving and they all come back to see, Jeff, spoiler alert. Whereas part 2 is like them trying to find their presents that the elves hid somewhere. And then there's like a weird story break in there with Jack Frost. I mean, it's like,
Did you? Okay, we'll
was
get to it.
weird. Yeah.
We'll get to it. We're going to talk about Jack Frost and I'm going to
I know,
absolutely
man.
light him up. But anyway, yeah,
I got
we'll
some,
get there.
I got creepy vibes from Jack Frost. I got to tell you.
Yeah, honestly, he looked like he probably has at least 6 kids in his basement locked up.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, my nose got cold, so I'm gonna take this child from your.
I think his nose got warm, and by
I don't know
warm I
about this.
mean he was into the nose candy. That guy.
Oh no!
Oh, like
it does feel like it was cocaine fueled, but it was the '80s, so everything kind of felt like it was cocaine
definitely cocaine fueled. Yeah.
100%. Did you see that guy dancing? Oh, we'll get to it. Let's just
yeah. But let's dive into part 1 first. So.
Yeah.
Well, Christmas Eve at last, and almost time to start my journey. Wouldn't do to keep the children waiting, you know. Is my sleigh ready, and is my sack all filled to the brim with toys? Good work, elves. Your job is over. Well, now, have you decided how you're going to spend your Christmas Eve? Oh, try not to let anybody see you now. And don't play too many tricks.
Okay, it's Christmas Eve. The store's closing. Everybody's getting ready to leave. Or no, Jodie's going to go to her aunt. Sam's going to go to his sister. Muffy's going to go see her relatives. And they're all going to leave Jeff, who is the mannequin that comes to life, by himself. And they're also worried about him, which I thought was really endearing. They're like, are you sure you're going to be okay? And poor Jeff can't leave the store. So like, you remember in lockdown in 2020 when like we couldn't go anywhere, like I felt so bad. I was going crazy, trying to sneak out to get like gas because I still had to go to work. It's like, I just need to get out of the house for a little bit. I can't even imagine Jeff. Like, that's just all sorts of insane.
What, because he's got to stay in a store?
He's got to stay there. Yeah.
Hey, he chose that life, man.
Take him somewhere. Just because he doesn't come alive doesn't mean they can't like bring him in the car and take him on a road trip. Like,
does he actually see things though?
I don't know. I mean,
I wonder if he actually can experience when he leaves, or if it's like I don't know, seeing Medusa type thing. You just turn into stone and you have no actual. I don't know. That's a different topic for another day. But it is sad. Yeah. He's forever quarantined, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. At one point they say we should have taken his hat off so that like he doesn't have to be by himself. He's just there. And so it's like, oh wow.
Let's just put him out of his misery until we come back
like,
after we chill with our family.
That's harsh. Yeah. That's
I
like I'm purposely gonna cryogenically freeze you or something, I'm going to put you in this medically induced coma for no reason, until we come back. It's like, oh man, this guy.
Oh, I'm worried about Jeff. Do you think he'll be lonely?
Well, maybe we should have taken his magic hat. He can't be lonely if he's just a mannequin.
But like, you can kind of already tell they really like him because they're like, well, are you sure you're going to be okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to decorate the tree. I'm going to get it all done. So when you come back, it's like going to be awesome. And, so he's like excited to do this. And they're like, all right, I guess. They all start to like go their separate ways. And that's kind of how it starts off. And I want to like get into it, but at the same time, there's not like a whole lot to get into, there's like
it's just singing.
Yeah.
Well,
random song to random song.
To, like, start with the fact that Muffy, who's the like rat thing,
rat thing,
the mouse, yeah,
was like eager to catch these elves, like very eager. And I think like that's where the storyline kind of twists, is when Muffy kind of steps in.
Yeah. Well, and I guess we should say these are the only 2 episodes that don't actually start off with their theme song. It starts off with Santa, which I thought was a odd choice as well. And apparently it's a tradition that Muffy tells them.
Well, on Christmas Eve, the elves run free, but they're very difficult to see. If you catch one and then let it go, a wish is yours. Of that, I know.
I've never heard this as part of like the Christmas mythos. So,
Never.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what it is, Jerry? It's simple. It's 2 words. It's called lazy writing.
I thought you were going to say cocaine, dog.
And cocaine. It was the 80s. And they were in television. If they weren't doing cocaine, they weren't living their life right.
They weren't doing something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. And then part 2, it almost felt like they were cooking that coke into crack. So I don't know.
yeah.
Started.
They moved up to harder drugs like LSD or something.
They're like, hey, have you ever tried this stuff called ecstasy?
But I like how they're all like just singing their own version of 12 Days of Christmas. And it's like the most ridiculous thing, So I think it's like on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a plate full of macaroni.
Yes.
Honestly, why can't your true love just give you what you want on the holidays? Just give me sexual favors and we're good to go. Like, it doesn't have to be 6 birds. It can be like, I'm not going to get into it.
How will you know that she really loves you if she doesn't give you birds, man?
Okay, the only birds I want are the first letters from the bird blue jay. So like, just give me 6 of those, and then you can kind of read between the lines, right? Is that too vulgar? Did it take everyone a second there? I think we could keep that in. I love blue jays. I'm just saying. Like,
yeah. What's a collie bird? No, thanks.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So Muffy tells Jeff about all the elves and everything, and so she's like super excited to try to capture these elves, and Jeff's just like, look, whatever, just go have fun with your folks. And they leave, and he starts to like clean up randomly. Like, oh,
Yeah,
let me get all this stuff cleaned up. And you're like, okay, whatever. And they head out, and we get okay. So on the third day of I just want to say this because it's kind of ridiculous. On the third day of Christmas, what true love gave to me, sliced French bread, hot cheesy sauce on a plate full of macaroni. So they're just hungry, I guess.
They're high as hell and they have the munchies. That's what's happening.
Yeah, that's exactly got to be it. So the elves show up and they start. They sing a song.
Elves are clever. Elves would never cause a lot of fuss. Santa wouldn't like it, that's why no one would catch us.
And then there's like a little quiz. So the one thing I did really like about this is that there were like all these little bits like, okay, so it's like identify this pattern. It's stand, tree, star, stand, tree. What comes next? There was a what's different or what's wrong with this picture. And it's like the toboggan's going the wrong way down the hill or whatever. Things like that. And I actually kind of enjoyed that part because it reminded me of like Sesame Street and 3-2-1 Contact and some of those others, Electric Company.
That was like, I think that's the reason why the like today's special was like brought into the school system, because there was a lot, and you were talking about it earlier too. It's like they bring in, I guess, real life scenarios. If I'm not mistaken, I think there was like a health one. I
think so,
like,
yeah.
We watched, and they always do like these things that like kids can connect to, or like not like super super small kids, but like kids that are like a little bit older and can like figure stuff out, and they connect stuff. And I felt like that was pretty cool too.
Hold on, I got a question.
Sure.
You guys had it in the States. You guys had Popular Mechanics for Kids, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good. Alicia Cuthbert, she's Canadian. Well, I think wasn't a Canadian show?
Yes, it was.
Okay, good. See, Canada has given the U.S. so many good things. Alicia Cuthbert being one of them. So.
Hey, I'm not arguing. No argument for me. That's for sure.
I don't even know where that. Yeah, I was just talking about Canadian television. Sorry, I'm not going to take you off track too far.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So after the quiz, Jeff sings like a big old song. He goes to the roof. I guess that's like the one place technically outside the building that he can exist and be alive, even with his hat on. It's like his favorite spot in the whole world. And as he's singing his song about like how this is like the end of his world, basically, which is, oh man, so depressing. But then Jodie shows up and she's like,
oh, I just decided that this is where I really want to be on Christmas Eve.
And Jeff's like,
you think they hooked up?
I totally.
We all thought about it.
They had to, right?
A little Ebony and Ivory situation.
What do they say? The bone zone?
Oh jeez. Did you just call it the bone zone? Oh my god.
What they say. That's what I've heard.
Cool.
No, but yeah, so
the bone zone. Got it. Okay. I'm just
No, but I mean, like they seem like love interests, right? I mean,
I thought so.
That's like the premise of the movie Mannequin, and Mannequin 2 is that the mannequin comes to life and falls in love with the guy, and together they end up happily ever after. So when I saw this, not remembering the premise from when I was a kid, and I knew that he was a mannequin, my first thought was, oh, she's the love interest. And she came back for Christmas Eve. And I was like, all right, good for them,
Yeah. I'm coming back
Christmas.
for Christmas Eve. Like, yeah, I guarantee you someone, now I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but like if something happens.
Something on the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. No, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something.
They don't have any. They just have pouches. Like, don't you remember?
It's just a pouch. And then like you got to show up on Christmas Eve for something to show up there.
Hey, I don't know how
magic.
When he puts that hat on, who knows what happens to his
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He comes to life, man.
All he has to do is lie 4 times and it's like Pinocchio's nose.
So Jeff asks, like, what are you doing here? And she tells him that I just decided this is where I really want to be on Christmas Eve. And he says, you're supposed to be with family. And then she says, well, you're part of my family too. So we get that. Now, meanwhile, while all that's happening, Sam has come back and he's trying to get in and he cannot get in because the old
drunk
guy,
as hell.
He's making merry at Christmas time, and he locked his keys and left his wallet in the store. And I love how a cop's just passing by, and Sam's like, "Hey Jeff, if you don't hear me, I'm gonna have to break in." And the cop's like, "Wait, what's going on?"
Yeah. Who
Right
is
away,
this drunk guy?
Right away, Sam's like, no, I didn't really mean break in. And he starts explaining, and Jeff's a mannequin, and he comes to life in the store.
Yeah, sure, sir. Just step in this car with me.
Yeah. He's like, why do we go down to the police station? At least it's warm down there. You'll be safe. you
Arrest this drunkard.
You won't commit any felonies or misdemeanors.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. So.
Oh, we got Jerry's first. Oh man, I love it. Way to go. It's not a podcast without the oh man.
And I've been trying to edit them out, but oh well.
No, don't do it. You need an oh man shirt now. I think that'll be your bestseller.
I think it would be. Yeah. All right, that's the T-shirt. Oh man. And
man. It just needs to be your face smiling with just oh man.
Oh man.
No,
I would
wear that everywhere. They'd be like,
it's got to be Sam from today's special.
Yeah.
with headphones on. Oh man.
Not even just him in a picture with like beer, just like this going into his mouth. He looks more like a whiskey guy.
Yeah.
Or Canadian whiskey for sure.
Yeah, totally. Oh man. So there we go. So Jeff and Jodie are decorating the tree, and they bring one in, and I like how Jeff sees something moving and he immediately thinks it's one of the elves. And so he goes to grab it, and it turns out it's Muffy, who also has returned so that Jeff won't be alone. Basically, it's like a big found family kind of Christmas, there's something very cool about that as well.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he almost do something to Muffy? Like, I don't know. I can't remember. Like he almost did something, and then he's like, "Oh, you're lucky. I thought you were something." And I was like, this rat almost got like diced, right?
Well, because I think he goes to grab it, and he's like, "Gotcha. Now you got to give me a wish." I think is what he says.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! What a pervert!
He's a drunk and a pervert.
It usually comes like hand in hand, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's
that Canadian whiskey is strong. And apparently that urge to just, harass people is too.
So they decide they're going to decorate the tree. They're looking through ornaments, and Jodie tells Jeff that she's going to, they'll put these on, and then she's going to make the rest. And he starts talking about traditions. And I actually really love what she says here. She says, that's the good thing about Christmas. It never really seems to change very much. People still make their own decorations, have a big Christmas dinner, go for a sleigh ride, or sing Christmas carols in a choir. Anyway, from there we seg into like an actual, the St. James Cathedral choir singing.
You see, most people know the words to all of the carols, so it's easy to sing along.
like how they're trying to keep that alive, and we don't see that a lot anymore. People actually making their own ornaments. You'll see it in like Hallmark movies, in like the small town that keeps Christmas alive. But I mean, I don't really. Do y'all make your own ornaments?
No, I haven't done that in a long time. Actually,
Yeah.
I wish I did. Like, one thing I've never done, and I've never even seen it out this way, is like the popcorn thing where they wrap around the tree. I've never seen that done. I want to try it one day though. I guess they put like a needle and thread.
You put a needle,
popcorn.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never done that.
It's cool. Yeah,
I want to try it one day.
My grandma used to do it, and so
Really?
We haven't done it in decades, but for a while there, yeah, my grandma used to do it. And yeah, you just tie the thread onto the needle, and you just start putting them in, and you just decide how long it's going to be, and you tie that end off so that the popcorn doesn't come out on the other side.
Holy crap! I'm going to try that this year, maybe.
We'll see. You should. But I think that's definitely something. It doesn't like last long. So if you're going to do it, don't keep it up like all season, unless I think there's like sprays or something you can use, but to cure it. But
yeah, I was going to say, if you don't spray it, also, so I live in a townhouse complex.
Brag.
And it's like, that is totally not a brag. and as much as like you can have the best you can have, like we have traps everywhere, nothing. No, if the neighbors down like 3 doors down from you don't like care about their house or whatever, then you end up getting mice no matter what, and it just freaking happens. So like awful. we've had these fluxes where they come in, but they like and they'll like penetrate the firewall too. So anyways, I just know that if I had actual popcorn on my tree, it would definitely attract any sort of rodent, and they would pull my tree down. So I could never have that. Ever.
Thanks, Ashley, for sharing that you have mice in your house.
Like I don't like to admit it, but
nasty.
You should name one of them Muffy and see if she'll help you catch some elves.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, I have a side story. Sorry.
Go for it.
I was umpiring baseball tonight, and we have these like hawks. I don't even know what they are. The actual term for them, whatever. They're like vultures here, and it had like a rat or a mouse, and it was flying in the air, but then there was like a small bird behind it, and then the bird kept chasing it, and then it finally let go of the rat, and it landed like 2 feet from one of the outfielders. He's like, what the hell? And it was still alive because he was carrying it. I had to call time. It was hilarious. But anyway, when you brought up the mice, sorry.
That's awesome.
ADHD brain. Keep that in, by the way.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
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 Oh man.
So eventually the elves, they do play pranks, but they also like to help people. They bring Sam's wallet and keys to the police station, and he's like, hey, I don't know how these got here. It must be the elves. It must be a Christmas miracle, he actually tells the cop. And so he grabs his keys and he takes off, and he's like, can you drop me back off at the store? And the cop's like, yeah, all right. I mean, I guess he has proof now that the guy's legit, but still, I don't know about it.
I believe that he let him walk out of there, to be honest. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know about this cop. I mean, I guess
should have drunk tanked him.
I guess Canadian cops are just a little more trusting.
And then he drives him home. Like, what? This is amazing.
He drives him home. Yeah. Yeah.
A free Uber from a cop. Honestly, though, for anybody that's ever been in a cop car, I'm not saying that I have or I haven't, but I definitely have. It's very cramped back there, man. So I would have to put my feet up for sure. I don't have a criminal record, just for the record. I was detained because there was an altercation one time. So I've been in the back of a cop car. It's not comfortable. So Sam was drunk. He didn't care. And funny enough, so was I when this happened. So me and Sam do have something in common.
Right on.
Look at Jer, right on. Right on, loser. Way to go. I've never been in a cop car.
So Sam gets back and they're all trimming the tree, and that's pretty much how part 1 ends. They like sing, I think, Deck the Halls as they're just decorating the tree, and they put the star on top.
Merry Christmas to you, everybody.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, ba la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Fa la 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 la, la 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 la.
Welcome back. Hey, come and help us decorate the tree.
Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. Fa la 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 la, la 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 la.
And that's that. Now, the quizzes that we got, or the little bits, we got Twas the Night Before Christmas and Terribly Late, but cookies and milk have been left on a plate. They must be for someone. Can you tell me who? And we get a picture of Santa Claus. And I got to say, this is like one of the nicer looking pictures of Santa Claus, like from the 80s that I've ever seen. It actually looks,
Santa Claus in the
cool.
80s. I don't know what it was. They put too much red on their cheeks, man. They looked angry as hell. They all look like alcoholics too. And you know what? They probably were. They probably were.
True.
Maybe.
But also, like, the suits felt cheaper. Like the red was like a super bright red, and it always felt like it was felt or something. It never felt like an actual nice material like you'd get nowadays.
Yeah, almost just like a material you bought off the rack and it was just stretchy. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, man. Like, if you look at a guy like Matt Spalding, he has some fantastic suits, and the suits that are available to Santas now, if they're willing to pay the money, are fantastic. Obviously, these people in the 80s, it wasn't available, and they were just there for the paycheck. But
yeah.
I want to go back to something though. I think it was at the beginning the beginning of this episode or the first episode when they played "Oh Christmas Tree," the song, or is that even the name of the song? Isn't there like a different name for it?
I think it was this one actually. Yeah.
Anyway, that is an underrated Christmas song, and every time I hear it, it puts me in the mood.
Oh, nice.
It puts me in the mood for Christmas. Not for both.
Yeah. Well, and there's something about it because you're actually singing to the Christmas tree. It's a great one to sing while you're decorating the tree. You know,
I don't know if I would do that. That would be way too Hallmarky. Like, I could just imagine my kid's reaction if I just started saying, "Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Chris." They'd be like, "Dad, shut the hell up, or we're going to our rooms." That's what's going to happen. So no.
Well, my kids are still young enough that they'll just join in with me. But
rub it in, Jerry.
It's coming. No, it's coming. My daughter turns 11 tomorrow. So.
Oh my God! Happy birthday! Mine turned 12 in a few weeks. So.
Oh, nice. Well, happy birthday to them.
Yeah, happy birthday to yours. And I think I don't know. I miss that feeling of Christmas with a youngin'. I might just have to have another kid. You never know.
Well, if we end the call and you're singing the 12 Days of Christmas, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. I gotta get somebody pregnant, so we'll see if that works.
But that's the end of part one. Part two comes on, and part two is just next level bizarre. Because
this is when the edibles kick in.
Exactly.
It was acid, definitely acid.
Well, it was laced with all that stuff. Yeah.
The first one was nice. I mean, it was a lot more calm and relaxing. There's not really like any kind of conflict or problem. It's just, hey, I'm coming back for Christmas. All right, let's decorate this tree. I mean, it's just all about family and togetherness and Christmas.
Well, it looks like everything's all packed and ready to go. I'll be on my way soon. Oh, I wonder how my two little elves are doing. Every Christmas Eve, I let them go and see whoever they want. I hope they're not getting into any mischief, and I hope they're having a...
And then we get this one, where the elves take all their presents away because they decide they want to open them now instead of on Christmas morning. And so the elves are like, nah, we're not going to do that. And so they literally just make their presents disappear and hide them around the store in various spots. That's like where it begins. And then it just gets weirder from there.
Yeah. Let's just go. Cause I was going to say something too vulgar.
You've been waiting to talk about
go for it.
So I think you should just light it up.
Just continue. It's not for Jerry's podcast.
So they decide they're going to go look for him.
Hey, what happened?
Our presents.
They're gone. Oh, the elves did it. That I know. Although you don't believe it so. On Christmas Eve, there are tricks they play. That's why they took our gifts away.
Well, we'll soon put a stop to that. Come on, let's search this store from top to bottom.
Right.
Those pesky elves won't get away with this. Look,
And they're looking, they find them under various Christmas trees. And there's like 62 Christmas trees around this store. And so they find each one at a special location. They find Jodie's, and she decides she's going to open it up. And it's a book. It's like the story of Jack Frost. And it is weird. I don't know what else to say.
This is insane. And I just want to say
This part is so
on behalf of Canada, the entire country, and their prop people, what the hell was this? He looked
Jerry,
like leftovers in a kitchen. He looked like he was on meth. He looked like the Tin Man on meth.
Yeah.
The actual quality of this outfit was insanity. It looked like it was made by a grade 7 class.
It's totally did. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like something they would have made for a talent show or like a Christmas concert. He
was budget. He was really budget.
I want to honestly find who made it and figure out what the budget was, because it couldn't have been more than 75 cents.
No, it was next level bad.
But like before that, can we just talk about how when she was explaining the story and she was like, "Ooh, like, do you see a face in the clouds?" And then it was like, "Oh yeah, there's the face right there." And then all of a sudden, I had the volume on my computer pretty loud.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, like, oh my God, I better turn that down. It sounded like the cloud was moaning at some point.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah. What the hell? I
like something about better go get your warm jackets on, and she said it in a very
seriously.
like suspiciously sensual way.
Yeah,
I felt so incredibly awkward, and I was like to a point where I couldn't find the volume on my computer. I was like, oh my God.
Couldn't find it fast enough.
Yeah.
Watching this special.
Mute.
Yeah, seriously. It was weird. Did you hear that too, Jerry, though, or did you not notice it?
No, I totally noticed. It was weird. Yeah.
You know what? On my to-do list last night, getting aroused at today's special was not one of the things I had planned. So congratulations, TBO. You're
scratch it off the list. Check.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's reading the story, and it's about, like, as we mentioned earlier, Jack Frost is very mad at the world because every time he brings winter, his nose gets cold. So in order to feel better, he decides to make other people feel worse. And so he kidnaps a kid, James.
Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
And Sam helped. No, he didn't.
And I mean, he could have, but no, but he like kidnaps his kid, and then the kid's sister, who's also played by Jodie, decides to go after him. And anyway, long story short, she gets him back. She gives Jack Frost a nose warmer, and he decides to be nice. And
please stop being nice, for you will find my heart is ice. I wish you would cry or put up a fight. I can't stand goodness when I'm so mean.
Then give this a try, you may find it just right. It's a warmer you wear like a screen, so your nose will no longer freeze when you're blowing the winter's breeze.
Well, may I try it, please?
That nose warmer is probably full of stuff.
Yikes. Not touching that one.
Nope, my mouth's shut there. But yeah, so she reads a Christmas present for Jack Frost. We get Sam visiting TXL, who is like the computer system of the whole store. And he gives her a present, which is window cleaner, and he like cleans her screen, and she's like gets ticklish.
Look at that, your very own bottle of window cleaner.
Oh, thank you.
Here we go.
That tickles.
Alrighty.
She's like, tee, that tickles.
They had whatever it's called,
Chat GPT.
They had that before we even did. Like, they were well above their time. So clearly, it was just like a front.
A lot of people don't realize how long AI has actually like been around. It's just super out there now and evolving. Yeah.
Right.
Look at the Terminator, man. Anyway.
I'm telling you, every time someone says AI, my first thought is the Terminator and the Matrix and all those.
Yeah, the Matrix, yeah.
And I know it's like dumb science fiction things and nowhere near what these guys are going to be doing, but like I feel eventually it might come true. I don't know. Movies have trained me to think like that. But anyway, the elves, they actually bring Muffy like a big old cheese statue. Again, ridiculous.
It's a mouse elf made out of cheese.
Yeah, that's our present, Muffy. Cheese, but not this much. I guess they really wanted you to catch an elf.
Oh, I don't mind if those elves tease. Not when they bring me this much cheese.
Muffy actually gives the Penelope, which is Sam's cat, a present, and it's some cat food, some treats, so that she won't go after Muffy anymore. It's just a good time until finally Jeff realizes, where his present's going to be, and he goes up to the roof, and there's a Christmas tree, a real tree, because he's never seen a real tree in person.
See? It's a tree. A real tree.
Oh my, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But how did it get here?
I don't know.
I guess the elves, they heard Jeff say that a real tree was his wish today.
All the trees in the store are fake, which makes sense. They got to last through the season and be reused. And so that's like what the elves brought him. And of course, in the midst of all this, there's a bunch of songs and dancing. And there's like one scene, I think, where Jeff dances all by himself.
Very weird. Very weird. That's all I'm going to say.
The dancing, I just felt it was kind of I don't know. It was so random. He started to like tap dance and like do some jazz, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm feeling this or not. Like,
you know what it was, right?
He's like a stage music, like he's like a Broadway kind of guy.
Yeah.
It was drugs. I'm telling you, this entire thing was done under the influence of some type of narcotic.
You know what? I know we're joking, but honestly, I kind of feel like that's exactly what happened.
100%.
Like not even a joke anymore. I really think that's what happened.
Look at the writing and look at all the writers back then. A lot of them were alcoholics and cokeheads, and that's fine. They can be that, but this was insane. This wasn't as bad as some of the stuff I reviewed, like, me and Mike Westfall reviewed like Power Rangers Christmas. That was like,
oh, I saw that. Yeah.
My God, I could not believe what I was just random kids popping out of nowhere, just singing songs. But like this wasn't that bad, but I still definitely felt like it was a hard trip.
And of course, at the end, they see Santa up in the sky.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Ho, 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 ho.
Wish you a Merry Christmas.
And they all start singing, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." And all is well that ends well. Yeah, this is a strange one. But again, I kind of like it. I don't know why. I think just the atmosphere, maybe it's the color palette or something about it. But I really did like part one better than part two. Part two with the Jack Frost just kind of threw me off. Like if you only see one of them, like just watch the first half and you'd be fine. Like
actually, when I was looking at the actual, like, I guess YouTube of it, I was like 57 minutes. Like I don't remember it being that long, but I forgot that there was two parts. Yeah. And then as it was playing, and I was like kind of scrolling through, I was like, there is two parts. I was like,
when I
there's
seen
57. Oh,
yeah. When I saw that, I said that better include both the parts because I am not watching two 57 minutes versions of this. No, it's not
no. And
No,
I put it off till this morning, so I was like, all right, let's get this over with. So my alarm rang at like 5:30, and I was like, all right, I gotta watch this. And I saw 57 minutes.
I would have fallen asleep.
Yeah. I was like, this is awful. So I was like watching it while I was shaving, I was brushing my teeth, and just whatever I could do to besides just watch. And in the end,
pass the time.
Yeah.
I watched it last night a little late, so I don't know when everybody else watched it, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
can I tell you, all day today, I just want to tell you, Jerry, that I was like, I'm just gonna have to tell him straight up that like there's nothing in this that I could possibly mimic or I could tell you or even like redo, because there's just absolutely nothing I could have picked from there. I was like, I can't even. No, I'm gonna have to tell him that there's nothing.
I feel the same way.
So hopefully you don't ask me to change that segment because it's just not coming out. I was like, okay, well, maybe I can do this one. Then I was like, no, like it just doesn't make sense. I was like, no, this episode, these series do not have anything like tangible to pull from them.
Well, and because there's not a lot of like plot to it,
that's what I mean
in general. So yeah, I get it. But it does make me wonder, what would you guys say is your happiest memory or moment from today's special or just this episode?
I would say, like, to be honest, I would just say that it reminds me of it. Like, it is something that I would have loved as a kid. Like, I know that like that type of stuff really, like, I gravitated towards it because it was like homey and comforting. So I know that I would have loved it a lot. But it does remind me of like being in elementary school and like when the TV used to get like creaked into your classroom and like,
oh man.
Like, those like epic moments after lunch and after it's like a rainy day, you get to like sit and watch. So I would say that that's kind of the nostalgic feeling that it brings me, but also to the fact that like that is something I can just see myself definitely popping in front of the TV and watching.
I'll be honest, when it's like raining and it starts to rain, I like hope that at work someone will just wheel out a TV on a cart, And I know it's never going to happen, but like that's my big hope. Like, oh, come on, like because those are the best days at school when the TV would come out. Oh, it was just amazing.
And like the coolest Disney, because you always had to have Disney. It was like
my construction tech teacher. Shout out to Mr. Mondelli on our last week of school in like, what was it, grade 12? He let us watch Scarface as long as we didn't tell the principal. Shout out to Mr. Mondelli. He's the
man. I might have done. I taught a class on film music because it was supposed to be like music theory and music history, and the kids had like zero. They didn't know anything about music before, so it was like I didn't want to just teach music history or music theory because I tried it and it's boring. So I started teaching film music, and we would watch like long segments of movies. Like, okay, listen to this, but no one really listened. They just watched the movie, So
yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
I always loved that they tried to like, they always tried to tell you that there was some ulterior motive for them to like pull it out. Oh, like, just try to see what the moral of the story is. I don't freaking know. Like, we're getting like popcorn and chips. Like, I don't really give a crap. Just gonna sit and munch. Like,
yeah, just hook me up with the snacks and shoot your mouth. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, my happiest moment is any scene with Muffy. My weird little toddler ass had a crush on her for whatever reason. I can't explain it.
Yeah, me.
I don't know, but she talked in rhyme. Did that like bother anybody?
Sometimes maybe, but like, I don't know. I felt something endearing about it when I was a kid because
totally.
I just loved her. I was like, oh my God, I wish I could marry somebody like Muffy. And yeah, she was a rat. So
rat?
Isn't she a mouse? What is
I think she's a mouse. Yeah.
Okay. Same, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I hope you didn't marry a rat. I hope she's nicer than that. But
no, I'm not into sewer rats. Not really. No.
Not even drowned ones?
No, I can't say I am.
Wow. Well, then you wouldn't like Chuck E. Cheese.
I love Chuck E. Cheese. I love Chuck E. Cheese. And you know what? I heard everybody talking crap about their pizza. It really wasn't that bad. Grow up poor and then go to Chuck E. Cheese. That was a delicacy. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. Jerry had a really bad situation at.
Yeah, didn't your brother get you forced to leave? I would have beat.
Yeah, I was so mad at him. I was. Oh man, I didn't talk to him for like a week or something afterwards.
Good. I would have kicked him in his nuts. Jerry's like writing down, edit this moment. Every time I say something, he writes down the time. He's like, oh, this now. Okay. Anyway.
Oh man. So I was gonna do a gag me with a spoon, but if you don't have one, then I'll go ahead and just do mine. So this is Muffy, and so she's got her big old block of cheese, and they realize where Jeff is going to get his present, and they run upstairs, and I'm gonna do my best Muffy voice, but it's gonna be terrible. Now you obey, don't run away, she tells her cheese.
That was embarrassing. Yeah, good for you, Jerry.
Totally was.
Telling the cheese to obey. I wonder if
Well,
she
you know,
like
she.
some Dom sub stuff.
Whoa,
Oh
whoa.
man. Oh, this is a
She's
welcome
telling
to
it to
Totally Rad
obey.
After Dark.
Oh my
We're,
Obey. Okay, gotcha.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah.
But,
Maybe.
so
Maybe.
now,
Yeah.
I do want to say though that
Muffy
Nina-
likes being spanked. Now you get now start your sentence again and edit that part out.
So Nina Keogh and Bob Dermer, they're the puppets, the puppeteers for Sam and for Muffy and Sam, and both of them actually have bit parts in the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. So when they go to the North Pole, the little Punch and Judy puppets that are there in the background.
Yeah.
So Nina Keogh, who plays Muffy, she's actually Judy, and Bob Dermer is Punch.
Oh dang!
So
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Jerry, I love you. I love stuff like that. I love learning new things.
And Bob Dermer, as I mentioned earlier, he's the voice of Grumpy Bear in all those Care Bears cartoons and specials. So we actually
I can
him.
see it now. Yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah. So we got to talk about Grumpy Bear and the Nutcracker.
Yes, we did.
I love it.
But anyway,
Honestly.
It does make me wonder. So G.I. Joe taught us that knowing is half the battle. What do you guys think is the other half?
I think the other half is don't dress up like you're wrapped in, tinfoil and, do meth, and definitely don't dance and sing in a terrible hat. And you know what? When you're writing a show, maybe, try to do better and not make it so terrible, because I love this show. And now watching it as an adult, it really hurt my feelings. So thanks a lot, guys. So if you're listening to this somehow, this sucked.
Writer's strike, man. Writer's strike.
Okay, fine. Pay your writers, but after you do not buy drugs with the money.
I don't know why, but when you just said that, for some reason, it reminded me of those Hulk Hogan and Macho Man promos where they're like so clearly coked up.
Oh yeah,
just going at
when
it.
they like put their hands out to shake and
yeah,
oh yeah, I can feel the power before you can get there. Yeah, thinking.
Oh man, now I want to see today's special, but with Macho Man instead of Sam.
Yes.
Oh, that would be great. Elizabeth, I forgot my key. You sure wasn't Hogan. I see them lying eyes. Yeah.
Miss Jodie. I can't do it.
Well, you know something, brother. We should have took his hat, man. So he wouldn't be miserable all day, dude. Could have hit him with the leg drop and knocked him out.
What's that smell? Dookie. Anyway, no, it's good. What about you, Ashley? What do you think the other half of the battle is?
Catching the elves, obviously.
There you
mission to catch those elves.
There you go. Yeah.
That was clever.
Yeah. So for me, I think if knowing's half the battle, the other half is just not being drunk outside your department store when you forget your keys inside.
Yeah, especially when you're the one in charge. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, get it together, guy.
Yeah, like it's Christmas Eve. Drink the eggnog after you leave. Don't put it in your bag.
Yeah.
I think we've all wished that we could be drunk at work before. Some of us might have been. You never know. I'll never admit it, but happy hour, man. I'm telling you, little 12 o'clock delight.
Or what does Cheech say from the Santa Claus and His Old Lady? The magic dust, man. A little bit for Santa Claus, a little bit more for Santa Claus, a little bit more for Santa Claus.
I miss those movies, man. I remember those were like cult classics growing up.
Oh, there's Up in Smoke is like one of my favorites.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So good. But guys, it's been a blast talking about today's special with you. But tell me about your shows or anything else you got coming up. Like, what do you want to plug?
Well, you can find me at Christmas Sessions anywhere you look for podcasts. Yes, I will be coming out with a Leon Day episode and maybe a couple Christmas in July episodes. I'm not going to give away who my guests are, but they're exciting. One of them might be sitting here next to me, not next to me, but across from me on a screen, and it's not Jerry. So yeah, listen in June and for a couple episodes in July, and then I probably won't be back until December because I am a December exclusive podcast, but not really. So, and if you don't want to listen to my podcast, listen to somebody else's podcast, like Brian Earl, Christmas Past. He got me into podcasting. I will always plug him. Listen to Christmas Past if you don't like me. And I understand it's easy not to like me, but it's harder not to love me. Thank you.
I feel like you did such a weird thing by telling somebody who doesn't, telling somebody who doesn't like your podcast to go listen to Brian's, because they are very opposite. So if somebody
They are. Mine's loud and boisterous.
And they most likely would like Brian's.
Yeah. Like if you like Brian's podcast, go listen to Ashley's podcast because she's like the female Brian Earl. I'm more like Joe Rogan for Christmas, except like I was gonna say not everybody hates me, but it's not true. A lot of people hate me.
Well, not everybody hates
Discord.
You. I don't hate you.
100%. Like, come on. Let's be real. Ashley, tell us about your podcast.
Yes.
Well, you can find me at the Magic of the Season podcast on Instagram.
Put a little oomph in it. Come on.
Why?
Actually, let's do this. Why don't CJ, you be Ashley and plug her show for her?
Okay, ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Like you can totally find me at like the Magic of the Season podcast, and my latest episode, like I interviewed my mom and it was excellent. And I might be coming out with like a Father's Day episode soon. And I might do something for Leon Day, but I'm not like totally sure. So if you want to listen, fine. But if you don't, like, it's fine too, because I'm non-confrontational. So yes. And you can find me at Magic of the Season at Instagram. And you can also find CJ at what is it? At Christmas Sessions Pod on Instagram. So yeah, like totally like rad, dude.
Nailed it.
That's number one. Whoever's listening, that is not what my podcast sounds like. Just because that's how I
That's
talk.
what you sound. It's not what it sounds like. Like, come on, like really. Now plug your podcast for real.
She's a youngin.
Plug it.
Listen, okay.
Yeah, but seriously, go listen to both of them. It's a good time. You won't regret either way.
Yeah.
No, you seriously won't. Like, honestly, my podcasts run about an hour and 15 minutes, but they're hilarious. And if you don't think they're hilarious, you're an idiot.
Guys, I missed y'all. This has been fun.
I know.
I told you, anytime you have me on, it's hilarious. Now let's do the wrestling episode, and I will be the one to like domineer that thing. I'll get it going. I'll get those guys in check, brother.
I'm in.
When I was talking to, or when CJ was asking me like what day was best for us to like get together, I was like, wait, where's that? I was like, is it too much for Jerry to edit the Rocky episode? Because like it was strange.
Oh yeah, I told you. No. There was a lot of like you in a row and a lot of CJ as guests in a row. So I just wanted to space it out a little bit more. That's all.
And I was like, well, you know,
just
I can become an expert at anything, to be honest. Like, just give me Google
facts midway. Like, oh my
god. You guys are talking about stuff. I was like, ooh, how many Rockies are there?
You're like,
what is the main?
Who's the main protagonist
of Rocky 2?
I keep saying like, Drago. What is that? Let me go.
Yeah, what's Drago? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
What, is this a new like sleeping pill?
So by the time this drops, then people will have already heard Rocky 4. So
yeah. And they're like, oh, put all your Rockies, your favorite, in a row. She starts with like Rocky 7. There's like no Rocky 7.
1, Rocky 2, Rocky.
Tell me what to stop.
4, 5. It's like, okay.
Anyway, I'm here for a good time. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
There you go.
I want to
I'm all in. I get it. Yeah.
Anyway, let Jerry end his podcast.
And on that note, I'm going to end it by saying, look up there against the sky. Is that Santa passing by? So check us out on our social media pages, Facebook and Instagram at Totally Rad Christmas, Twitter at Rad Christmas, or our Facebook group, Totally Rad Christmas Mall and Arcade, where you can make your voice known to us as well. We post anything and everything 80s or Christmas related. And if you're feeling like Jeff spending Christmas with his friends, leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us reach more people and spread some rad holiday cheer. Now, don't forget to check out our merch shop on tpublic.com and our super dope website, totallyradchristmas.com, courtesy of Tis the Podcast Elf, Tom Crow. Merry Christmas to you, everybody. Later, dudes.
Here's someone special you should know who'll make your Christmas bright. So listen for his ho 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 when you're in bed tonight.